evening and welcome. I'm Alva Adams and I am proud to be your governor. Now they tell me I've got about 5 minutes before my next speaking engagement. They keep us politicians on the go, you know. So let's get started. I was born May 14, 1850 in Dane County, Wisconsin. We came west when a member of my family contracted tuberculosis. At age 21, I started my rags to riches story by hauling ties for the Denver and Rio Grande Railroad. I was part owner in a lumber and hardware store in Colorado Springs, which did business with all the booming railroads. Soon after, I sold my shares in the business to start my own here in Pueblo. I called it Alva Adams and Brother. October 25th, 1872, I married my beautiful wife, Miss Ella Charlotte Nye. We got married up in Manitou Springs. And then in August of 1873, I became the secretary for the Pueblo County Democratic Convention. The next year in 74, I became a delegate to the same convention. But my political career really took off in 1876 when I was elected to the Colorado House of Representatives. After my term was over and a brief hiatus, I had an unsuccessful run for governor. But then in 1887, at the age of 36, I became the youngest governor ever for the state of Colorado. My term was relatively uneventful. One thing is I was influential in passing a bill that made it illegal to use children under the age of 14 for labor. Now keep in mind, this didn't count household chores. 1889, after my term was over, I came back to Pueblo. Now back then, terms for governor were only for 2 years. While in Pueblo, I helped organize the Pueblo Savings and Trust Company. You probably know it as the Pueblo Bank and Trust. I'd be the president of that organization until the time of my death. In 1897, I ran for governor again and won. This time my term was very contentious. Lucky for you, there's not enough time to go over everything that happened back then. In 1902, the big Arapahoe County up by Denver was being divided into smaller counties. The voters decided that they should name one of the new counties after me. They even named a street after me, Adams Avenue. Yes, the people just loved me. In 1904, I ran for governor again in the most corrupt election ever to haunt the Colorado ballot boxes. You see, the Democrats were accused of committing election fraud in Denver and the populated cities. The Republicans were accused of doing election fraud in the mining towns and the corporate-owned towns. Well, in one Denver precinct, there were 717 Democratic votes cast for me. The only problem was there was only 100 registered voters at the time. Yeah, we are a crooked bunch. Well, despite these accusations, I was elected to governor for my 3rd time. In 1905, when the General Assembly convened, there was so much bickering between the parties that it risked making the entire system a laughingstock. So the Republican majority determined that neither I nor the Republican candidate, James Peabody, should be governor. Technically, I was governor for 1 day. Instead, my lieutenant governor, Republican Jesse McDonald, became the governor. Excuse me. In 1906, I ran for governor again, but after my fall from grace in 1904, I lost. So I came back to Pueblo and concentrated on my banking, business, and Masonic interests. Around 1918, I moved into 102 West Ormond Avenue. Most of you probably know it as the Ormond Adams Mansion up on Ormond and Colorado Avenues. And then in early October 1922, I moved into a sanitarium in Battle Creek, Michigan. I'd long suffered from diabetes and more recently from heart trouble. Well, with my wife at my side on November 1st, 1922, I died of heart failure. They brought my body back here to Pueblo and buried me at the Roselawn Cemetery. I was 72 years old at the time of my death. At the note as an item of interest, you can see my old office desk at the Pueblo Heritage Center at the end of the Ghost Walk. Well, it's time for me to move on to my next speaking engagement and you on to yours. Now don't forget to vote for me at the end of the Ghost Walk. Shoot, vote for me as many times as you want.